It's a very important step. It's a ceasefire at this point. It's not a peace.
Tonight on DC News Now, hope for peace now that Hamas has released all Israeli hostages. The family of one victim sharing their cautious optimism.
We're talking cloudy, breezy, with a few lingering showers overnight, but we should be drying things out tomorrow. Latest details coming up.
A man arrested for the murder of his ex-girlfriend. Why neighbors in Montgomery County say the shooting is unlike anything they've ever heard of before.
Senators returning to work on Capitol Hill tomorrow. But can they find a path to reopening the government? Plus, how the shutdown is impacting businesses right near the now-closed National Zoo.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Chris Flanagan.
I'm Susan Tran. The rain starting to slow, but the road's still pretty slick out there. Let's take a live look at a traffic camera along 495 in Virginia, right near Springfield, and you could see plenty of raindrops on the camera lens. The visibility has been down as well for us.
Yeah, just a messy Monday evening out there. Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer is here, and it's going to be like that through the night.
Yeah, we're still going to be tracking a few of those rain showers lingering, and then also a bit of that breeze, too, making it not ideal out there as you're heading out. We're dealing with that breeze. Sustained winds mainly out of the north-northwest, and those are anywhere between 10 to even close to 20-mile-per-hour sustained winds. A few gusts still up there, still right around 30 miles per hour in D.C., right at it. In Frederick, at least 30-mile-per-hour gusts out towards Annapolis, Waldorf, Lexington Park, too. We did have a few more of those steadier rain showers earlier. Those are starting to break apart, but we still have some of those lingering sprinkles at this point, right along the Beltway, even into Montgomery County, extending now into parts of Fairfax County as we speak, and even down towards Mount Vernon, seeing some of that lighter rain right now. So as we look over the course of the next few hours, still by 11 p.m., a couple of those isolated showers still looming. We have those overcast skies overnight. That breeze still mainly out of the north-northwest. Could be waking up to a few showers. Again, very spotty. Then those fade away. Should see some drier conditions tomorrow afternoon. A few sunny breaks out there. So still mainly cloudy out there for your Tuesday. But temperatures will be a little bit warmer than what we had out there for the day today. But for all those details, what we can expect for the rest of the work week coming up.
All right, Jackie, developing now at 9, a deal in place between Israel and Gaza. The Egyptian president calling President Trump's plan the last chance for peace in the Middle East.
The leaders here meeting once the Hamas leadership there released all 20 hostages and Israelis freed nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. And this is just yet another tearful reunion, a moment the family has been waiting for 2 years now. Israeli officials saying that this man was taken by Hamas on October 7th from that music festival.
And in Egypt, President Trump, joined by world leaders, signed a permanent ceasefire deal. It ends 738 days of bloodshed and anguish in the Middle East. The hostage and prisoner release was phase 1 of that plan.
Today, the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace.
Under the 20-point plan, President Trump must lead and oversee the creation of a temporary board to govern the Gaza Strip. Israel must also withdraw its troops, and Hamas has to agree to disarm its militants. Now, that last point really could be a major hurdle since it's unclear when or if Hamas will disarm.
Here at home, there is cautious hope that this will lead to lasting peace in the region. It's a day many families have been praying for, especially those who had loved ones who were held hostage. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live outside of the White House.
And Daniel, you spoke with a man whose cousin was killed by Hamas. I imagine it's a bittersweet day for the family.
It is, Chris and Susan. To be honest, he tells me that he didn't think this day would come, but he's glad it did for the 20 hostages who are living and got to return home today, as well as there's now a sense of closure for all those families of hostages who were killed, their bodies set to be returned as well.
Today is a very happy day.
Boaz Atzili is an Israeli-American living in Aspen Hill. He says today's major announcement in the Middle East is a big first step.
It's a very important step. It's a ceasefire at this point. It's not a peace. It's not even like completely an end of the war.
He knows what many families in Israel are going through. On October 7th, 2023, his cousin Aviv was killed at his kibbutz near Oz. His body was taken to Gaza and wasn't recovered until 4 months ago by the Israeli Defense Forces.
Kibbutz Nir Oz, about a quarter of the people of the kibbutz were either killed or kidnapped.
He's also a professor of international relations at American University who says the return of hostages could have happened much sooner and saved thousands of Palestinian lives. He places blame on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
It's a waste of life of these hostages and of thousands and thousands of civilians in Gaza that were killed as well by Netanyahu's policy.
Atzili says lasting peace won't happen under the current Israeli government.
A real peace will require a Palestinian state side by side with Israel.
In the short term, Atzili says President Trump needs to continue constant pressure on not only Hamas and the other countries in the Middle East, but also Benjamin Netanyahu, who he says could sabotage any deal. We're live at the White House. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Senator Tim Kaine in Virginia posting on social media that he's relieved the remaining hostages are reunited with their families and thanking the Trump administration for their work to secure their release. A woman is killed on the front lawn of a Maryland home this weekend. It leads to a police chase and the arrest of her ex-boyfriend.
That violence sending shockwaves through a quiet community in Montgomery County. DC News Now's Ben Dennis joining us live in Forest Glen.
And Ben, what did neighbors hear and see at this terrible incident last night?
Well, it is a quiet community here in Forest Glen. Earlier today, I saw young families out playing. The bikes were on the sides of the houses where young kids will get on those. But those neighbors that tell me this woman was shot and killed outside of a house where they say her mother lives. The prime suspect in this murder where these bullets flew just yesterday morning is the woman's ex-boyfriend. Bullets riddled on the side of a white Jeep and crime tape surrounding where a woman lay lifeless in the front yard of a home. Montgomery County police say 47-year-old Monique Charles of Brooklyn, New York, was found shot several times just before 8:30 Sunday morning.
But I don't know what happened.
Janira Alvarado lives near the crime scene. In the 25 years since she's walked the sidewalks of Imperial Drive, she's never heard of anything like what unfolded after attending Sunday service.
After 9:30, when I came back from church, so I saw the street closed, and my neighbor called me and what's going on in here.
What did the neighbor have to say when they called?
Oh, they hear a lot of, ¿cómo se dice?
Shots?
Shots, many shots.
Two neighbors, including Janira, says Monique's mother lives in the home and hasn't seen Monique often.
We barely see her.
Police initially believed Monique was leaving the home when her ex-boyfriend came up to her and fired shots. An eyewitness shared the suspect's description with police. At some point, officers say they found them driving on Horizon Place in Durwood, around 10 miles north of the crime scene. A police chase broke out. The suspect crashed near Maryland Route 108 and Rocky Road, north of Laytonsville. 47-year-old Earl Walker was sent to the hospital with minor injuries, detained and charged with first-degree murder.
I love all my neighbors here, so I want to have the same peace.
Police also say that they found a gun in the suspect's car. No word when he might be back in court. We could not inquire today because the courts were closed for the holiday. Stay with us as this story develops. In Forest Glen, Maryland, Ben Dennis, back to you.
So in Montgomery County tonight, new photos of a suspect in a series of home burglaries. Police say this man here has forced his way into several homes in the Kensington area since July. He then stole from those homes. Police believes he's in his 30s or 40s, is bald, and has a large tattoo on his right forearm. If you have any information, call police.
The government shutdown now nears the end of 2 full weeks. Congress is no closer to a short-term budget deal.
Senators, they're supposed to return to Capitol Hill tomorrow, but House Speaker Mike Johnson says the House will stay adjourned until Democrats approve the Republican funding bill. Democrats are demanding an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies expiring at the end of the year. They say since open enrollment starts November 1st, that extension needs to happen now. But Republicans say those negotiations can happen after the government reopens.
There are efforts to make sure that service members are paid through the shutdown. President Trump says he is directing the Pentagon to use all available funds to ensure military members get their paychecks on Wednesday. Lawmakers are questioning if this is a legal move, and it comes after the Republican House Speaker would not hold a vote on a standalone bill to pay the military. The Defense Department telling our news partners at the Hill roughly $8 billion is coming from research and development funding from previous years. The National Zoo and all Smithsonian museums are now closed, and it's hurting nearby businesses. The Smithsonian facilities were able to use funding from previous years to stay open 11 days past the initial shutdown, but had to close as of Sunday. And area restaurants and shops say the lack of foot traffic is a direct hit.
Typically, the zoo would be packed, and everybody would be going across the street to see the pandas, and then they'd come back and they'd grab a panda pop, and none of that. Like the gates are closed, nobody's going in or out, so it's really disappointing and very frustrating.
Many businesses say they've unfortunately have seen this play out before. They've had to survive previous federal shutdowns and, of course, the pandemic. We have continuing coverage of the government shutdown on air and online at DCNewsNow.com.